Okay, so let's see if we're live. This is Tatsu Keita. I'm head of C and CEO of Viewable. Viewable is a live streaming company specializing in decentralized live streaming on the blockchain. And I've been writing a series of tutorials on cybersecurity, and I thought I'd give a demo today on part 4, the start of part 4 of my series on how to set up a router. And I realized this is not going in order, but I just wanted to get this very technical guide on how to set up pfSense. pfSense is a great piece of open source software, and what it does is it allows you to basically create a pretty good basis, pretty good foundation for a firewall. So let's get started here, and let's see, capture moments. It's been a really long time since I've done streaming on whatchamacallit, YouTube, yes, or any kind of live streaming, but it's kind of exciting to be back. Right, so let's see, the analytics look good. What's going on here? Live stream. Okay, very good. Copy link location. We'll go back. Video cam, stream, manage. Great. Public allow. Okay, so all right. I'm a little confused here because I don't know what's going on. Manage live stream now, live now. Okay, there we go. So just forgive me because I'm a little new to the studio creator that's going on with man, how do I do this? No, that's not it. That's not it at all. YouTube viewable. All right, I wanted to share this with Facebook, but I'm not feeling it. Anyway, so let us get into pfSense here. Again, pfSense is a great firewall. It's something I've been working with for probably about 8 years, and learning from the basics to the advanced has taken quite a while. But I've set up maybe, I'm not going to say 100, but maybe 50 of these. And each successive one that you set up, you get a little better. You find more tricks. You find better ways to do the things that you were doing. And so we're actually gonna start from scratch. And I think this is going to be a pretty valuable tutorial, because what it does is it allows you to get in the game of security with a world-class firewall. And I really mean that. I've dealt with all kinds of commercial firewalls, everything from SonicWall to Cisco, Juniper, what have you, Barracuda, and the like. And I found them all limiting, mostly because of licensing and how the licensing operates. It really slows you down as a system administrator. And I find that pfSense it gets you freedom, to sometimes you need licenses just to experiment, and that can be an impediment to your self-learning. So the way to go, the way to get started with pfSense is, there's the software, of course, but what kind of hardware would you run it on? And for those of you who do not have a PC, this is what I recommend here. And I hope you can see the screen. So let me blow it up for you a little bit. There is a company called Kotom, and they sell these mini PCs, and they're actually very small PCs that have no fans, but they make many models, as you can see, and so it can be very confusing to choose one. And there are a couple of considerations here. So one of which is, how many network ports do you need? So I will get this to the top. So the one at the top here, actually I'll just click on it, right? So this one for $315, it gives you 4 Ethernet ports, which is plenty for most people. The minimum, of course, would be 2. You would want a 3rd or 4th port here, just so you could run something like what they call a DMZ, or an optional WAN port, or a 2nd or 3rd LAN port. And of course, WAN being the external wide area network, or the internet access, the ISP, and LAN is your internal local area network, as they say. So 2 is okay, 4 is kind of nice, and it's not that much more money, so why not just get the 4? Moving on from that, Kotom, I'm not exactly how to pronounce Kotom, they have varying degrees of specifications for their CPUs. Even though it's probably overkill, I like getting the Core i5. It seems to be, a pretty nice balance between power and price. And I actually have overrun a Core i5 by being a little too greedy in my filter list and ad block, which is kind of funny. But yes, a Core i5, it's probably a great start. An i3 is fine. When I started this game, I started using Pentiums, actually low voltage Pentiums, which are called Atoms, and the Atom line is, it's kind of hard to find at this point, but the Celeron line, it's sort of related to it. That's going a little low rent, I feel. I think, like what you want is an i3, an i5, an i7, probably overkill, right? And you have your choice of monitors. So in this case, I am not using a monitor, and we'll get into that trick in a little bit. But this is a typical box that I would get, and this one has an HDMI port. Some of them have VGAs. They all have this COM port, which is actually an RS-232 serial port, the good old serial port. They have USB ports, which are universal serial ports. USB is neither universal nor serial. Discuss amongst yourselves, but whatever. This one also has Wi-Fi. It's not very good Wi-Fi. I don't recommend using it for your network, but it's there if you want it. So you have your choice of RAM. You have your choice of SSD. These are very small footprint operating systems. 32 would probably be fine. 64 if you have a lot of services going on, and 128 should just about cover any scenario with pfSense. And the 8 gigs of RAM is nice. The thing to know about pfSense is that the more RAM you have, the more default network states that it will allow you to have in the table of network states, right off the bat. Of course, you can adjust it, but you're kind of, if you do that, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, potentially sacrificing RAM for other services. So I feel like a Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 SSD, that will run you 343, you know, in this particular case. But, you know, oh, this is the 6-port one. That's like the big boy, right? Not really, but let's go down to this one. You know, like an 864 here, $267. I mean, that's fantastic. And like I mentioned, you can run this off a monitor, but in addition to the monitor, you would need a keyboard, and that's kind of a lot to plug into this thing, right? But there's a sort of more elegant way to do this, and the way to do that is to get one of these USB to serial port adapters, which is kind of a weird thing because it's a serial port to a serial port adapter, but whatever. This is the one I'm using right now, and you notice that it has the pins here. I think it's 9 pins, right? It has female on this side, USB on that side, so this obviously would plug into your computer. This would plug into your Kotom mini PC pfSense box, and away you go. It does, you know, you will need to download a driver from Cable Creation, but you know, if you do this a lot, it's definitely worth having. You know, it's $11. Actually, I got the $10 one, the 3-foot one. You know, for $10, to be able to not have a monitor, not to have a keyboard, and you're doing it on your own laptop, I think it's kind of worth it, right? And for those of you who do not have the correct monitor, and maybe you don't have an extra USB keyboard, this will actually save you quite a bit of money. So definitely the way to go. Okay, so once you have purchased this cable, the mini PC, and you can feel free to use any PC that you have lying around as long as it's Intel based, right? And that goes, AMD works well. That's fine, but you do need 2 NICs. So if you can scrounge up an old PC, and you know, even up to 10 years old, and stick a second network card in there, you're good to go. You know, so maybe you can find one lying around in an office, your friends, a thrift store, whatever. So the next step is to bootstrap pfSense, and what you want to do is go to pfSense .org/download, and what you want to do is select the latest version of the Community Edition and select your architecture. Do not select this. You want this, the 64-bit AMD, which works for Intel as well. If you're using a monitor, you're going to want to check the VGA, even if you're using HDMI. If you're doing what I'm doing, you want the serial edition, and you know, you want to download that. Click OK. In my particular case, what I'm doing here is, and I'm just going to up the levels of the sound. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to move over to terminal now. Okay. Archive utility. All right. So in my case, it's unzipped the file, but whatever. So I always download things to my temp folder. So I won't get into that trick, but it's a great trick. Because the temp folder erases itself every the time you reboot the computer. So what's in my temp folder? I got a pfSense download, and what I want to do, what you want to do, is, if I can switch to Firefox really quick, is pick up this page, how to create a disk image with pfSense, and this comes via netgate.com. Netgate is they're sort of an official supplier of pfSense appliances and services. If you need professional services, you can get it from them. They're a little expensive. I used to use them. I sort of do it myself now, but they were a great help in the beginning, right? And I'm using a Mac, so what we want to do is stick in a USB drive, and I might as well show you this in real life. So what I've been able to do today is to, let's see, how do I do this? I want a QuickTime window, right? Okay, so check this out, guys. So you're going to be able to see what I'm actually doing, which is pretty cool. So here's the mini PC, and I think, you know, this might be helpful. I'm not going to do an unboxing, of course. The Wi-Fi antennas are inside that, and here is the you know, the serial cable that I was talking about. Sorry, the USB to serial adapter cable, and this guy right here is just an old, you know, just an old flash drive. So what you want to, I can't actually do it because my Mac is all full of USB. So this one has already been formatted with pfSense installer. So the USB stick is going to be installing pfSense onto the PC, and let me show you right here. Oh, that's going to give you guys headaches, isn't it? Let me switch back to Firefox. Is, you know, you just go through this instruction of sticking the USB disk, unmounting it if necessary, and then you run, in the case of the Mac, you want to uncompress the pfSense download that you got from here, right? And then pipe it over, as they say, to the DD command, which will copy the contents of the disk image to the target USB drive with the parameters of 1 megabytes chunk size. So after you've done that, you will have a USB stick, and then what you're going to be able to do is to connect your PC to your Mac using the serial console. If you just have a monitor and a keyboard, go ahead. Let me just do this again. You would just want to stick in a monitor and a keyboard onto the PC, press the power button, and off you go to the races with the installer here. In my case, I have this adapter, so what I'm going to do is kind of strange, but let's see if the command is still in here. So I'm going to issue this command called screen, which basically connects the terminal to the serial port and displays directly the contents of the console from the serial port of the PC to the Mac, right? And let me find the power button here. You can see it over here. Power it up, and I'm going to go to terminal. Whoop. Okay, terminal. Press that command. Could not find PTY. All right, I'm gonna have to do this again because I did it too slowly. Sorry, could not find PTY. So what I might have to do is go like this, turn it on. It may require some timing here. That's a little annoying. The thing about USB is it's not as reliable as, here we go, we got something, as good old serial port. So let's see what happens here. Oh, we've got some stuff showing up now. Okay. Great. Can I get more, please? Can I have some more, please? The joy of USB consoles. All right, here we go. It's sort of a matter of timing. All right. So what I'm going to do is create another terminal window because this one's not working. Close this out. Boy, this is a little complicated. Sorry about this delay, but we will be underway soon. All right. Maybe I don't have the right USB port. I mean, it's definitely getting something. Here we go. Okay. Finally. All right. So we have the USB installer booting up, and you can actually see it on screen, which is great. Sorry for that delay. So welcome to pfSense. Please choose the appropriate terminal type, and this is why you need to choose, VGA or console when you download your pfSense installer. So I'm just going to press return here, and it's going to say accept. Interestingly enough, this mini PC, it comes pre-installed with Windows 10. We're just going to blow it away here. So you just press default, guided. We'll do guided disk set. Because we're just going to blow away the entire disk and just choose defaults for everything. Go commit, and you can see it running. It's kind of fun to see it work. There's nothing like a good FreeBSD install. All right, off to the races finally. So manual configuration installation is now finished, and that's it. Like, you need that is all you need to do, and you have pfSense installed. So at this point, I need to get a network cable and connect this to my Mac. And I'm thinking, do I even have a network cable here? Actually, I don't. This could be a problem. Well, maybe this is a good starting point. Sorry, stopping point for for today's lesson on how to set up. Oops, install login. I'm just gonna turn this guy off here. One thing to note about this mini PC, and actually I will look it up for you here, is that there's a couple of options actually when it comes to this Kotam PC. It's a very interesting piece of hardware, you know, because it's pretty low cost. It's very bare bones. It doesn't make any noise. It's kind of perfect, you know. And you know, while pfSense is booting up again, let me just pull up the iPhone camera here, and I will show you something. Okay, so on the front, actually, it's hard to tell which is the front and which is the back. It has the power plug. I would say the only weakness about this thing is that it doesn't have a screw locking power plug, but whatever. And the power button here, it's okay. It's not the greatest build quality, but it is all metal construction. It's you know, these metal fins keep the thing cool and dead silent. If you take off the bottom panel here, there is instructions online on how to change a jumper setting on the motherboard so that the PC always turns on when it has power. And why would you want that? You would definitely want that in a router setting or a firewall setting, because what happens if the power goes out, and you know, this pfSense does support USB UPS monitoring. So if you have an APC, say branded uninterruptible power supply, and you connect it to the USB ports, yes, this thing will do graceful shutdown and all the like. You know, send you alerts, which is nice, but there's no way to automatically turn it on. So getting to the jumper setting, although it's kind of admittedly pain in the ass, you need the right screwdrivers and all that stuff, it's probably worth it. And so before I sort of close out the stream, I'm just gonna go back to the browser here and try to find that page for you. So all right, so we're gonna go to Kotam power jumper setting. Maybe that will find it. Mini C. Okay, well, all things YouTube, right? So this, I guess there are a lot of video tutorials on how to do it. And so what's this? Blah 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 blah. Well, you right. So the unfortunate thing here is that you have to pull off the motherboard, and that means unseating the CPU. So you might have to get some thermal paste to reseat the CPU heatsink properly. And you know, it's a little annoying, but maybe Quotom will make it easier in future models, because I think they know that the majority of people who buy these mini PCs are using it for pfSense. So you know, that's the way it is. All right, guys, let me bring it back to me, and I hope that you got something out of this tutorial. It was pretty basic. I think these, the setup of pfSense is going to take a lot longer than I thought. So I'll try to cut this up into pieces and chunk size, bite-sized chunks, as they say. Next time we'll go through the pfSense setup wizards. Actually, I think we can do a complete setup of pfSense in one video. So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. My name is Tatsu. I'm with Viewable, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.